Are you perhaps looking to prepare for IELTS within a month? Well, here's my 1 month plan for you. I'll assume you're taking the weekends off to relax, so we'll discuss the 5 weekdays here. Week 1 will be for reading, week 2 is for listening, week 3 is dedicated for speaking, and we're going to finish off with writing in week 4. So let's start with week 1 for IELTS reading. Day 1. Familiarization and understanding. Study the IELTS reading test format, understand the test structure, types of questions, and time limits. Read the IELTS reading band descriptors for band 8 to understand the required skills. Practice timing. Attempt a complete IELTS reading section to get a feel for the time pressure and reading comprehension. Day 2. Building reading skills. Learn and practice skimming and scanning techniques. Enhance vocabulary by reading widely and learning new words. Practice reading comprehension with sample passages. Day 3. Question types and strategies. Study different question types that appear in the IELTS reading section. Research and practice specific strategies for each question type. Attempt practice exercises for each question type as well. Day 4. Time management and time simulation. Practice time management within the 60-minute time frame. Simulate test conditions with a complete IELTS reading test. Review and analyze your answers, focusing on timing and accuracy. Day 5. Refining skills and targeted practice. Review mistakes from the test simulation and understand why they occurred. Practice specific question types or passages that align with your weaknesses. Attempt another full-length IELTS reading test to consolidate your skills and measure your progress. Lastly, check out my IELTS reading video over here. Day 6 and Day 7 are going to be your holidays. Enjoy, relax, or study a bit more. Moving on to week 2 for IELTS listening. Day 8 is going to be familiarization and understanding of the IELTS listening. Study the IELTS listening test format. Familiarize yourself with the test structure, question types and time limits. Listen to sample recordings. Practice identifying main ideas, specific details, and understanding the context. Day 9. Developing listening skills. Improve listening comprehension. Engage in daily listening activities such as English podcasts, news, reports, or TED Talks. Note-taking techniques. Practice effective note-taking techniques while listening to capture key information quickly. Practice listening practice tests. Attempt IELTS listening practice tests to gauge your current skill level. Day 10. Question types and strategies. Understand question types. Study the different question types that appear in the IELTS listening section. Learn answering techniques. Research and practice specific strategies for each question type. Practice question types. Attempt practice exercises and sample questions for each question type as well. Day 11. Time management and time simulation. Time management techniques. Practice managing your time effectively within the given time frame for each section. Time simulation. Simulate test conditions with a complete IELTS listening test. Review and analyze. Identify patterns of mistakes or areas where you struggled and analyze your performance. Day 12. Refining skills and targeted practice. Review mistakes. Identify question types or sections where you struggled the most and understand why. Targeted practice. Focus on practicing specific question types or sections aligned with your weaknesses. Full-length practice. Attempt another full-length IELTS listening test to consolidate your skills and measure progress. Lastly, check out my IELTS listening video here. Day 13 and 14 are the weekend days. Study more or relax a bit. Up next, we have IELTS Speaking in week 3. Day 15. Familiarization and understanding of IELTS Speaking. Study the IELTS Speaking test format. Familiarize yourself with the test structure and the 3 parts of the speaking section. Watch sample speaking interviews. Observe how candidates respond to different question types and their speaking style. Analyze the speaking criteria. Understand the assessment criteria and identify the skills you need to develop. Day 16 is language development. Expand vocabulary. Read English materials and use vocabulary building resources to enhance your word knowledge, grammar and sentence structure. Review and practice different grammatical structures and sentence patterns. Practice fluency. Engage in daily speaking exercises to improve your fluency and coherence. Day 17, speaking strategies. Understand question types. Study the different question types that can be asked in each part of the IELTS listening section. Organize your ideas. Learn to structure your responses effectively and use linking words and phrases. Practice speaking tasks. Attempt practice speaking tasks with a partner, focusing on time limits and effective communication. Day 18, pronunciation and intonation. Work on pronunciation. Practice challenging sounds and use online resources for targeted practice. Practice intonation. Listen to native English speakers and imitate their intonation patterns. Record and evaluate yourself. Record your practice sessions and evaluate your pronunciation, intonation, and clarity. You can also send your recordings to me and I will be happy to provide some feedback on it. Day 19, test simulation and feedback. Simulate speaking test conditions. Arrange a mock speaking test and practice speaking on various topics. Receive feedback. Seek feedback from your partner or tutor and focus on areas for improvement. Reflect and refine. Analyze your performance, address recurring mistakes, and develop a plan for targeted practice. Lastly, check out my IELTS speaking video here. Days 20 and 21 are the weekends again. Moving on to the last week, let's finish up with IELTS writing. Day 22, familiarization and understanding. Study the IELTS writing test format. Familiarize yourself with the test structure, tasks, requirements, word limits, and time allocation. Analyze task 1. Understand the question types and practice summarizing information accurately. Analyze task 2. Understand the task requirements, essay structure, and the need to present a clear position with supporting arguments. Day 23. Task-specific skills. Task 1. Develop data interpretation skills. Practice analyzing visual data, identifying key trends, and organizing your response effectively. Task 2. Enhance essay writing skills. Practice brainstorming, creating a strong thesis statement, and organizing your arguments coherently. Day 24. Language development. Expand vocabulary and idioms. Learn new words, phrases, and idiomatic expressions related to common IELTS topic. Practice using them in your writing. Grammar and sentence structure. Review and practice different grammatical structures, tenses, and sentence patterns. Focus on complex sentence structures and cohesive devices. Develop cohesion and coherence. Practice using cohesive devices to link ideas and create a logical flow in your writing. Day 25, time management and planning. Practice time management. Attempt writing tasks within the time limits to develop a sense of pacing. Planning your responses. Practice creating outlines or mind maps to organize your ideas before writing. Allocate time for each paragraph or section. Day 26, essay organization and coherence. Introduction and thesis statement. Practice writing strong introduction and clear thesis statements. Paragraph development. Focus on well-developed paragraphs with topic sentences, supporting details, and examples. Conclusion. Practice writing concise and impactful conclusions that summarize your main points. Day 27, test simulation and feedback. Simulate writing test conditions. Set aside time to simulate the writing test, adhering to the time limit and writing by hand. Seek feedback. Receive feedback on your performance, focusing on task response, coherence, vocabulary usage, grammar accuracy, and essay structure. Reflect and refine. Identify areas for improvement based on the feedback and develop a plan for targeted practice. Day 28, review and revision. Review grammar and vocabulary. Refresh your understanding of grammar rules, sentence structures, and vocabulary related to IELTS topics. Practice editing and proofreading. Develop the habit of editing and proofreading your writing for errors and clarity. Final practice. Attempt another writing task to consolidate your skills and measure your progress. Yes, we need more practice for IELTS writing, and it's not a 5-day week. Lastly, check out my video on IELTS writing as well. This is it for my 1-month study plan for IELTS. Leave your questions in the comment section below. Leave a like if this video is helpful and subscribe for more content.